You've been told that if you want to win, you have to want it more than anything, that obsession is power, that if you hold on tight enough, you'll get what you want. But what if that's a lie? What if the harder you cling, the more you lose? The secret isn't in holding on, it's in letting go. Not because you're weak, but because detachment is where true power begins. We live in a world that worships desire. Want more, achieve more, cling harder. We're told this is the path to success. But behind the curtain of ambition is a quiet truth nobody wants to say out loud. The more desperate you are to win, the more easily you break. You chase validation. You fear loss. You become a slave to outcomes. This obsession, this need to control, rots you from the inside. You've seen it. The burned-out entrepreneur, the artist who lost their soul in the pursuit of fame, the man who begged for love and got abandoned instead, because the moment you need something, you hand it your power. Detachment isn't apathy, it's freedom. It's what lets you move without fear, fight without losing yourself, and act without being blinded by the result. You think desire makes you stronger, but it's detachment that makes you unstoppable. Detachment is one of the most misunderstood ideas in the world. People hear it and think, cold, distant, emotionless. But that's not detachment. That's disconnection. Real detachment isn't about giving up. It's about showing up fully, without losing yourself in what happens next. It's being in the fire, but not consumed by it. It's caring deeply, without clinging tightly. Buddha called it non-attachment. The Bhagavad Gita said, act, but do not be attached to your actions' fruits. The Stoics called it apatheia, serene strength in the face of chaos. They weren't teaching indifference. They were teaching mastery. Detachment doesn't mean you stop loving. It means you love without fear. It doesn't mean you stop trying. It means you act without needing to succeed. It's being the eye in the storm. Calm, clear, unshaken. This is the kind of detachment that changes lives. The kind that frees you from needing anything, so you can give everything. The most dangerous man is the one who has nothing to lose, not because he has nothing left, but because he's let go of the outcome. He's detached from fear, detached from praise, detached from ego. Musashi, the legendary samurai, said, "Do nothing that is of no use." He lived in pure focus, not for glory, not for gain, but for mastery. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire while practicing detachment daily. He reminded himself, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think." The greatest warriors, both in battle and in spirit, don't fight out of rage or desperation. They fight with stillness, because when your mind is still, you see everything. You respond instead of react. You move with clarity instead of chaos. In that space between action and reaction lies true power. Psychologist Viktor Frankl wrote, "Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose. In our choice lies our freedom." Detachment creates that space. It breaks the chains of reactivity. It gives you back your mind, and when your mind is your own, nothing can touch you. We think control will keep us safe, that if we hold on tightly enough, nothing can go wrong. But that's not how life works. Everything is in motion, everything is changing, and control is an illusion. Heraclitus said, "No man steps in the same river twice, because both the man and the river have changed. The more you try to grip the river, the more it slips through your fingers." Lao Tzu taught that true power is in yielding. That the soft overcomes the hard, that the one who surrenders now flows with life instead of fighting it. This isn't passivity, it's wisdom. Surrender doesn't mean giving up. It means seeing clearly. It means dropping the illusion that you ever had control in the first place. You can prepare. You can act, but you cannot force the outcome. And once you accept that, you become dangerous, because you're no longer afraid of losing something you never truly owned. When you're attached to the outcome, your focus fractures. Your mind jumps between what you're doing and what might happen. But when you're detached, you act with purity. Athletes call it the zone. Zen monks call it no mind. It's a state where the noise disappears, and all that remains is presence. You're not thinking about winning. You're not afraid of losing. You're simply in it, fully. When you let go of needing to win, you begin to play with real power. A musician who plays without fear hits notes they never could before. Speaker who's not desperate to impress finally speaks truth. A warrior who's not afraid to die becomes unstoppable, because when you have nothing to lose, you gain everything. Detachment sharpens your vision. It silences fear, and it gives you the kind of focus that can move mountains. Here's the paradox no one tells you. You only win when you no longer need to, when you're no longer chasing validation, when you're no longer begging life to reward you, when you're no longer desperate to prove your worth. That's when the doors open. It's the monk who finds peace by giving up desire, the leader who gains trust by letting go of control, the artist who finds their voice when they stop trying to please. Detachment doesn't mean you stop striving. It means you strive from a deeper place, not from lack, but from fullness. Not from fear, but from truth. When you stop needing the win, you stop tightening your fists, and suddenly life can place something in your hands. You don't surrender your power, you become it. So what does this look like in real life? It means you still care, you still dream, you still fight, but you do it with open hands. You walk into the arena, knowing you might fail, but also knowing that failure can't define you. You love fully, knowing it might hurt, but also knowing pain can't break you. You build, you create, you speak, you act, but you are no longer a prisoner of the outcome. You are engaged but unattached. You are in the world but not of it. This is the way of the warrior, the monk, the master. This is how you win, not by clinging but by letting go. By mastering detachment, you master yourself. And when you master yourself, there's nothing left to fear. What if I told you the reason you keep losing is because you keep clinging? You lose peace because you cling to control. You lose love because you cling to people. You lose freedom because you cling to outcomes. What you cling to begins to rot, not because it isn't good, but because your fear of losing it turns it into poison. Look closer. It's not the world that makes you suffer. It's your attachments. Attachment turns your desires into chains, and the more you want something, the more power it has over you. You become a prisoner, begging for security in a world that offers none. So here's the uncomfortable truth. The ones who win, they don't play by the same rules as everyone else. They let go. And because of that, they rise above everything that controls others. Let go, not because you don't care. Let go because you finally do. This isn't a new idea, it's an ancient art. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells Arjuna, act, but do not be attached to the results of your action. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. And in the Tao Te Ching, Lao Tzu wrote, by letting it go, it all gets done. These weren't empty metaphors, these were survival instructions for the soul. Detachment doesn't mean apathy, it means clarity. It means standing in the center of the storm, while everyone else is spinning. The mystics knew it, the warriors lived, and the saints embodied it. The Sufi poet Rumi said, try not to resist the changes that come your way. Instead, let life live through you. True detachment is not withdrawal. It is presence without possession, power without force, love without fear. Letting go doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop grasping. It means you trust, not in outcomes, but in your own alignment with something deeper. You want to know the real secret? Detachment is not weakness, it is the ultimate superpower. When you detach, no one can threaten you because you're not held hostage by your needs. You stop asking life to guarantee anything. And that's exactly when life starts to open up. Because you're no longer chasing, you're attracting, you're no longer begging, you're creating. Samurai trained for death every day, not to die, but to live without fear. Zen monks give up identity to touch eternity. They don't escape the world, they master it from the inside out. And those who truly lead, they aren't obsessed with winning. They're committed to truth, to action, to presence, not because they need the result, but because they are the result. They move without fear, because there's nothing they must have. They win, because they have nothing to lose. That's the paradox. The more detached you become, the more power you gain, not over others, but over yourself, and that changes everything.